We now move to a related development now. We're in a tense confrontation which unfolded in downtown Los Angeles as police in riot gear clashed with protesters following a series of federal immigration raids across the city. Footage from the area showed Los Angeles Police Department armed with batons and tear gas launchers lined up across city streets, facing off with demonstrators after authorities ordered crowds to disperse. Early in the standoff, some protesters reportedly threw chunks of concrete at officers. Police responded with tear gas, pepper spray and flashbang grenades. LAPD spokesperson Drake Madison confirmed that an unlawful assembly had been declared by the police, meaning that if anyone who failed to leave the area could be detained. Local media has reported that dozens of people were taken into custody. According to reports, ICE agents raided multiple locations across the city, including a Home Depot in the Westlake district, an apparel store in the Fashion District, and a warehouse in South Los Angeles. We're now joined by Jim Rice, who is a professor of international law located in Vigan, the Philippines, to discuss this story in more detail. Jim, thank you very much for joining us. I want to first start with this case of Kilmar Albrado Garcia, which has been going on for, as we've said previously, 3 months. He was previously denied a extradition back to the United States, even though he was wrongfully deported, which the Trump administration did eventually admit. I just want to get your quick analysis on this case. It has been ongoing, and the actions of the Trump administration in regards to the return of this man and the Trump administration's relationship with the US judiciary.
Well, thanks for that really good question. There are a lot of elements to this case, but I'll be brief. Essentially, this boils down to the issue not of the character of Abrego Garcia, but rather his right to due process under the Constitution of the United States. And this is something that was denied to this individual. So at this point in time, he's been returned to the United States, which is interesting because Trump and his administration has said that it would be impossible for him to be returned because it would be based on the sovereignty of El Salvador. But obviously this has been shown to be a lie. Now they're basically trying to spin the narrative that it's all about Abrego Garcia's bad character, but it's really not. It's about his right to due process, and it's about Trump's illegal use of his authority to deport individuals to a foreign gulag without any due process.
Jim, Donald Trump won on the popular vote, which was back in November, which was the first time that happened. He did campaign on having the biggest deportation scheme in US history. The US now seems to be getting something along the lines of that. We know his stance on immigrants. We see his social media. Do you think the people of the US are happy in the way that Donald Trump is treating undocumented immigrants in particular?
Well, I'm no expert on polling and it's early days yet, but from what I can see, this is not going to have the popular support that Trump thinks it will. And I guess I'll just kind of reserve my fuller answer to the other part of your story.
Yes, I want to obviously get to that. Los Angeles, these ICE officers breaking into people's homes, and we've seen a strong reaction to that, including violent responses from protesters, smashing up buildings and institutions. What's your view on that? What are your thoughts? Does that show that there is opposition to this, the way that the Trump administration is tackling the issue of immigration?
Well, thanks, Thomas. There's a close tie in there. And earlier today, I was looking at the news tapes from local outlets in Los Angeles and watching the scenes of what went down today, and I could I could kind of ascertain the sequence of events. And it was really giving me flashbacks to my experience in 2019 and 2020 during the Hong Kong protests, the Hong Kong democracy protests. And what I can see there is basically the same kind of brutal and a kind of military style tactics of the LA, not the LA police, I should say, but rather the ICE agents who were basically inciting and antagonizing the crowd. And again, in the early days of the Hong Kong protests, I can really say that they were totally peaceful because the police were not attacking and assaulting and using tear gas and pepper spray and batons against the protesters. But when they did, they responded with violent means. And so basically that's what's going to happen in LA. Again, it was almost frightening for me to watch those clips because I felt like I was there in Hong Kong in 2019.
Yes, Jim, thank you very much for joining us on the program. We now move over